Welcome back, and it's now time for us to go over to North America for a game that most people have been eager to see.
That just... so Eager versus TSM here. This is a really important game, right?
For both teams.
TSM has, aside from the LAN, seems like they're struggling a little bit. Whereas Eager seems to have only gotten stronger. Now, I don't entirely attribute that to Omega joining the roster, but Eager looks very revitalized.
Well, we'll see that roster up on your screens right about now. Omega is the newest addition. Polar Bear Mike just before him in that support role. They're 3-1 for the season so far.
Right.
Last time they faced off against TSM, though, they did fall 2-0.
That's true. And I'm sorry, they dropped the game to COG as well. You know,
they did.
A lot of people are starting to say, like, oh my God, Eager threw that game, and I don't believe that was true.
COG played very well. That was the only reason.
COG almost threw that game. COG had a huge lead. Eager took a calculated risk of, we could either win the game here or lose the game here, or we could wait and likely lose the game. And I think that the choice they chose was correct, but it just didn't pan out.
TSM, though, they are 1-1 so far in the Pro League after facing off against Denial. And now with their challenge against Eager, well, Denial and Eager are similar sort of teams. They're both vying for this 4th position, as most people think. And they're against another similar opposition.
Snoopy is just a superstar. The dude is the most consistent player, I think, in the world. You never see a bad game from Snoopy, ever.
So can he bring it out this time against Eager? That's the question. Is he against Zapman, one of his arch enemies? Those two love each other at the same time. They hate each other, the way they talk sometimes about how the laning phases go. And like, oh, you beat me that time with Ul. And oh, yeah, well, my Vulcan killed you that time. And
that Vulcan. That was actually the beginning of Snoopy, was the Mercury and the Vulcan ADCs. The first person to really bring out those crazy picks in that role.
Enough waiting around. Let's get into this one. And the picks and bans are underway. Eager will be first pick this time round.
All right, so banning phase is going to start. Eager has option. Bellona Wukong, as we talk about every time, still very important, but it's likely they're going to try to take shots at Athena. They're going to be looking to stop... Oh, I'm sorry, it's going to be Geb. Okay, they're going to look to stop Ionic.
Eager, last time they faced in the Pro League, these two... Eager banned away Geb and Isis both games against TSM. Will they rinse repeat this? Because at the moment that Geb ban says yes to me.
It's possible. Team SoloMid, it looks like it's going to stick with the meta here, take away Wukong. Very smart. Dare to Care, one of the most celebrated Wukong players worldwide. In fact, Dare, one of the most aggressive junglers, period. You really want to get those heavy assassins away. I'm expecting a Serqet ban as well.
Expecting a good season from Dare to Care as well. A lot of people underrating him at the moment, but he's come out on top for the time being. Freya is the actual second ban there, so they don't want to deal with that in the Hunter role.
Team SoloMid has one option remaining. They have to give something up here. They're trying to calculate what's the most important thing. Is it going to be Bellona, Fenrir? We know that they want to be aggressive. No, it's going to be Ymir.
It has been a long time since these two faced, so it was back in week 3 in the summer split that they faced off. So plenty of time for these teams to work each other out. A lot of things available here. Bellona on the table. Serqet, which is starting to see the rise come once more. And in the support role, well, there's still Sylvanas sat there.
Bellona is likely my favorite character. I think she brings a ton to the table. She's super balanced. There she is. I was actually going to say, though, I actually expected Eager to take Serqet.
They didn't, though, and they've gone with the Bellona option. Can go solo, can be jungled, and over in Europe, at least, we've seen it in the support role as well. So TSM now have 2 choice picks, and the Serqet will be picked up by them for Degars.
That's right. Gar's another player that has been a very celebrated, aggressive jungler. Serqet definitely at the top of his god pool as well, so this is going to be a strong start for TSM.
What is the second pick going to be, though? They've got options available everywhere. Generally, a mid lane is normally looked at here.
Athena.
It's actually going to be Athena. That could, I was going to say, that could be in the solo lane as well, but not sure we've really seen too much of that out of Devios.
This is the pick that I expected to be banned away from Eager. I really thought that Eager didn't want to get this in the hands of Ionic. In my opinion, this is when Ionic plays his best. I feel like the more options a character has, the more likely he is to kick into overdrive and become the strong support player that we know he can be.
Well, funny thing is, Ionic always was like, if I could have Tree every game, I'll take Tree. Well, this game, he was available, Sylvanas, and they didn't take it.
Right, but I mean, he's been nerfed twice since then.
Is that enough? That's the question. He gets picked a lot still. Medusa, though, has been locked in more than likely for Zapman. And who else will they look for? Still a mid laner available for both teams to be picked.
I'm expecting the lastest pick here. It's going to be Agni, more than likely going to the mid lane.
Nice, safe Agni pick. What will be in response? Isis is available for the Boosh if he chooses. Last time these two faced, I keep bringing it up, but Boosh played Hunters both those last 2 games. He played Anher and Neath back then. Will he go for a Hunter this time?
No, it's going to be Isis.
Which is kind of standard in that mid lane. Isis versus Agni, one of those celebrated matchups that we see time and time again.
You know, it's almost strange to see Isis picked into Agni, knowing that that is maybe not a hard counter match, but it is in Agni's favor. But you always go back to the fact that Circular Protection currently is the most valuable move in the game.
Agreed. I mean, 1 through 3, Isis has the lane control, but once you hit level 4, Agni does get the combustion online, so he can get that stun off and cancel out the Wingus pressure. And so Isis is going to play it a little bit more safer from there. With a Serqet support, though, Agni could be under a bit of pressure in this lane. It's just going to be a little bit difficult because Path of Flames and Beads so useful for escapes.
Sylvanas banned away, taking another shot. 3 Guardians have been taken away, and 1 Guardian has been picked. Now, if TSM decides to send Athena into another role, it's possible they could pick another Guardian or even another Guardian for TSM, maybe even Divios to take to the solo lane, just to try to strip away as many choices from Polar Bear Mike as possible.
Well, let's see what we're going to see from Eager here. The solo lane is available to be banned out, and it's going to be an Osiris. Not a surprise, Divios has gone back to this quite a lot the last season.
In fact, it's been a very big staple pick for the solo lane as a whole. A lot of players have had Osiris forced into their god pool, whether or not they enjoy that style.
Well, some Wukong is still on the table for both teams here, and maybe we'll see Omega pick that one up, unless TSM look for the option here to take it now. It's going to be Rama, though, for Snoopy, and Snoopy's Rama from LAN. If he continues the way it went there, it's going to be a big play.
Not to mention, hitting those Astral Barrage strikes from the sky is going to be so much easier with the help of Cobra's Kiss, Last Breath, Confound, Dispel Magic, Spirit Ball. Like, their CC is so heavy, and it will allow Rama to do what Rama does best, and that's just rain hellfire.
Well, back to Eagle we go. Solo laner will be locked in and support hi-rez for
Expected
Polar Bear
pick.
Mike. Well, to be fair, you're against the Serqet and all the other supports taken off the table. Why not go for that aggression?
Yeah, this is the expected pick. There's a lot of movement from Rama and Serqet. Being able to lock that down with the cripple going to be very, very important. Not to mention, Isis doesn't have any inherent CC immunity, making it easier to hit no escape, especially if beads aren't picked up early.
I mentioned this yesterday when I was casting with Adanis, but Awilix now being picked up. It's been a while since we've seen one. I don't know where she drifted to, but all of a sudden, we may see her some more. Pretty good against Serqet because of ambush as well. You can pull her back in.
Yeah, there's multiple jumps here, given the fact that Serqet's going to have... Actually, no, I'm sorry. There's only 1 jump. So it's really just looking at the counter for Serqet. Is it going to be enough, though, is the question.
Well, there is the Sun Wukong, which I expected to come out. Once you see Osiris banned out, you're always going to see that warrior in the solo lane.
Now, remember for Awilix, Feather Step is technically a cripple, which means it can shut down Deathbane mid-jump. It can stop him from being able to use ambush. In fact, if she gets crippled after the ambush has been activated before she jumps, it takes her out and wastes the cooldown.
On top of that, you've got hi-rez as well, which can then apply chains while they've been Feather Step, so he can't even do anything after that as well.
Smart pick.
Eager are really looking to put pressure then onto Dagaz in the jungle, I feel, with this pick, but what can the rest of TSM do? We're into game for game 1 of Eager versus TSM. Let's see where they're going to group up.
So far, nothing crazy in terms of builds. Looks like Polar Bear Mike trying to get kind of aggressive here. I'm surprised TSM didn't have the smarts to turn around on that one. And it's good they didn't because Zatman was coming right behind.
Notice how Polar Bear Mike and Zatman, then both of them did not take an ability. Still as well, Dare to Care not taking an ability in case he needs something. But Polar Bear Mike had the opportunity to take chains then and get it onto Athena, but realizing there was no real kill potential, he saved it.
That's a lot of wards placed down. A lot of defensive wards. You can see a red wall being built along the middle of the map to ensure that there isn't any invasions. Smart. It means they're going to stick with it, though, and this is good because Serqet's not really great at invasions, especially when compared to Awilix, who hits for, like, what is it, 750,000 damage?
It's around that number,
yeah, it's close.
Very offensive wars from Eager, though, defensive from TSM, as we just said. Transcendence has been started here for Zatman. Across the way, the Death's Toll, Devour's Gauntlet start could go into Soul Eater. We saw some of that at Funballer early with the build, where he started off with this and then went boots into Soul Eater. We'll see where Snoopy ends up going.
It's very surprising to me to see Eager not go for the AFK start.
Hog.
Oh, there's a hog.
It's about time. I've been waiting for this person.
He has. He won't shut up about it.
Hand of the Gods, honestly, in my opinion, in the early game, you can control every single Gold Fury that comes your way. It's going to force the enemy support to do it as well, or they're going to lose some free Gold Furies time and time again. 1,000 damage early game DM is definitely enough to secure that Gold Fury.
It's still strange to me that I didn't see Eager do the Paradigm start. Agni has the fastest clear of any mage at level 1, and that would have allowed him to burn that camp down, get a little bit extra experience, but you can see Lassus does outpush. He heads into the jungle for left camps. His jungler is not ready to hold this, though.
Bit of a trade going on here where Zatman takes a lot of poke
That's
with a change from Polar Bear Mike landing
That's
onto
real
Snoopy.
big.
3 chains in a row. Zatman's going to lacerate in, get himself in a great position, but so is Ionic to try and body block those. The new minion wave will allow him to roll into it and stay safe, but the acid spit was good.
Did you see that immediate stance switch, that immediate formation change to put Snoopy behind Ionic, they did it as a unit. That was the first time, I think, in Smite's history that two players played so perfectly that I thought they might have been macroed by one.
Great change from Polar Bear Mike. All three connected onto Ionic. He's staying at max range to try and keep that dot damage applying. And good pressure from Eager early on, especially when TSM got to lane first because of the hog.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, the hog usage so far hasn't been as strong as I would have expected.
Yeah, I mean, they got there early. They were pushing the wave in, but Polar Bear Mike, Zapman came back strong and put the pressure back on.
Dare to Care could be in some trouble here. I think the ambush... no, I'm sorry, that's...
Lasses is the one that's in trouble because he just got cancelled out from Path of Flames, I think, then. He's trying to juke out the autos, but Boosh, he's playing Isis, and now they're re-engaged for Dare to Care, potentially?
Dare was smart to stay on the cat there, make sure that he's able to rotate in and out of the fight, but Lass is getting picked off for first blood, should do well here for Team SoloMid, especially with the fact that it's gone into Isis, a character who is so dangerous when ahead.
Well, let's see what they can do now, because without pressure, they're going to put down it onto mid lane. There might be a rotation for back Harpies here from TSM to steal some more jungle away from Eager. The red buff is down. Maybe they're going to swing right round the back for Duo. Nope. Realizes red is down, so just reset.
Omega keeping Divios kind of locked down here onto the tower on right. Both having maybe not so much trouble as clearing the wave, but I definitely expected Divios to have harder push against Bellona than he has so far.
I guess at Bellona, though, she does have that bludgeon, so bludgeon clears the wave a little bit faster than Jingo Bang early on.
That's true, but he should be shutting down the slam damage with the 72 transformations. It's possible to this point that he hasn't had it, or to the fact that he knows that even if he does shut it down, it's not going to be a lot considering she still has the cleave damage directly afterwards.
Well, both similar builds at the moment as well, both Boots and Death's Toll. However, checking with those health mana potions right now, Omega's sitting in a bit of a better situation, and Divio's going to take this option to go back to base potentially, but with Degars being here, maybe he'll stick around.
Look at Gars properly using the line of sight to keep himself away from Omega. He's got to be careful here. Doesn't want to put himself in a bad spot. Omega still has Eagles Rally here.
Coming too, and there's already the Eagles Rally and the dash away, but in goes Degars all the way in deep to pick up this kill.
Yep.
And immediately Degars gets out. One more tail shot would have killed him, but guess what? Guess who's here?
Featherstep's got to be very careful. Beautiful slow. Featherstep doesn't connect. Lassus, however, super quick on the rotation, will find it and stun out his aggressor. Very good play, and they trade out the 1-for-1.
Trade out 1-for-1 over in that lane. It was a lot committed, honestly, from TSM there. And now that's going to allow Eager to go pressure the left-hand side and steal away purple buff with the Athena rotation.
You always got to be mindful about what time you're leaving the lane. Given the fact that they knew Athena was on the other side of the map at this time, there was no way they can contest the obvious purple buff respawn, which is going to put Snoopy in a bad spot. He doesn't have that extra push, which he needs against Medusa, on top of the fact that it's going to put him in a position of weakness, given the fact that he's down in level now.
Left Harpies have spawned and already dropped by TSM. Lassus will find out they've gone down. The right one's still alive now, and Degars is going to find them well enough to be able to take them before anyone turns up.
He places down a ward to make sure that no one can aggress onto his taking of this camp, which is going to do well for him. Any more experience that Serqet's get is just going to do amazingly, despite the fact that he did get a kill in the last engagement. The death sending him back at that time when his jungle was starting to respawn put him in a position of weakness, considering the fact that he wasn't able to farm. You can see that reflected in the levels right now, as Dare to Care is level 7, Degars is level 6.
Snoopy did go back to base just then and finish off Devourer's Gauntlets as
rough.
well. So
he was just back a minute ago.
I think he backed for the Devourer's Gauntlets, though, is the reason. You want to get those stacking as quick as possible.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose any minions in the lane. Luckily, you'll get back in time.
I don't know about that. I think unless there's a Guardian minion, he might lose one. He's going to lose likely 2 or 3 in gold. Yeah.
Loses 2. But he's going to get the stacks, actually, at least off the others, hopefully. Oh, we'll find out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there we go. Good way from him to pick up as many as he could. Has hit level 7 now, and the stacks are beginning.
Only 4 stacks right now, but you see the Transcendence has been finished by Zapman.
And Zap will have the innate advantage of that Transcendence earlier on. It'll stack a little bit quicker because he's not got as many stacks.
Right.
So the power burst for him. But over in the solo lane, it's Divios under pressure.
Divios able to get to this guy here. Going to bring Athena down as well. Wow, I did not expect him to reinitiate. Divios very low on health, low on mana as well. I think we might see him back for the teleport here.
A little bit risky, but there's nothing else going with it. Zapman on the left going aggressive onto Snoopy, forcing him to roll away. I could just see on the minimap there. Keeping the pressure up, realizing there's so much threat on the other side. Ionic in the mid lane, going to force Lassus back to tower.
Lassus very quick on the turnaround there. Make sure that he doesn't get caught. Dare to Care going to take another shot at this.
Why not? Because now the Sun Cloud is down, but Ox Form is available for Divios, and he does manage to get out of danger.
I think that was a really good play by Dare, because even though they don't get the kill, Divios has a 4-minute cooldown on that teleport that he just used, so already bringing him down to half health.
Polar Bear Mike is over here. He has ultimate and blink available. Without that cloud, Divios is in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, he has a sentry. Oh, poor Divios getting camped here.
Well, he's going to actually return to base there. I think that's the best call he could really do under the situation of the pressure that they're putting on this side of the map.
How much gold does he have? Like, what will he get out of this back? If he decides to back, he's actually stopped his back twice now. And with the creeps moving in, I don't think he's going to have the opportunity without missing a wave.
I think stopping the back as well, he's doing that on purpose to try and make them release the pressure on him, so to speak, so he can try and continue to farm up and not lose minions. Because by pretending to back, you do get Omega to push that wave a little bit faster.
Omega also trying to bait the back as well. You see the creeps moving in. Divios very low. Polar Bear Mike on the side of the map, but I don't think he's going to make the rotation over here.
No, Polar Bear's looking more towards mid lane in case there was any aggression, so he can look for that big no escape onto 3. Divios, though, as we're still tuning in, got to juke out that bludgeon, which he does nicely. Still being pressured under this tower, though.
He's got to be careful, and if he gets hit by one more bludgeon, Eagles Rally will kill him.
Polar Bear Mike on the front line for these left-hand harpies now. All 4 members from either side are ready for these left-hand harpies spawn, and actually it looks like TSM going to give this up as they're doing purple.
Yeah, Spirit Ball not going to get either.
It connected, and the second one did not, and a good silence from Bush will just dissuade the aggression as Divios, once again, a little bit too far forward. Nice use of abilities, though.
And really great patience from Omega directly after. A lot of players would have went for the Eagles Rally. He would not have caught him there, so very smart for him to leave that alone for now. Dare to Care are going to see the 2 are rotating over.
Going to follow them through as well, because they think they know the blue buff's up as well. Omega healthy enough to stick around here. Gauze, Deathbane in a way, realizing that Dare to Care is in support as well. So blue buff will stand for now, but Polar Bear Mike is on his way over as well.
Looks like we're going to see a cudgel coming out. This could be Runeforge Hammer. It could be Frostbound Hammer. Either one would do very well against Bellona, who's looking to attack as fast as possible.
We're going to have a fight over this blue buff. I see Divios is back here as well. Feather Step used by Dare to Care to try and burst it. Jingle Bang is down, and it looks like Divios gets his own buff. And now the boys of Eager turn tail.
We're going to have to see Omega use a defensive ult here, and he's still going to get caught. Ult back as well. Lots of damage. Omega's going to be cleaned up here once again.
He will be, and Polar Bear Mike's thinking about re-engaging. He is. 3-man, no escape. Who's got beat is the question. All of them do. They all get out of trouble. Now Polar Bear is surrounded.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Lassus have the stun? He does. Does he have the turnaround? They might.
2 bombs down. Lassus is going to pick up 1 with the help of Polar Bear Mike's chains as well. Feather Step from Dare to Care is good. The Gauze, though, does get out on the backside. Divios is going to be picked up by Ares.
Yeah, it looks like... No! Snoopy out of nowhere!
Finds the snipes onto 3! Lassus very low. Snoopy low on mana, though, as well now. And with Zapman here, they will find Divios.
Oh, no! He's caught in the Noxious Fumes!
Nice work from Lassus over the wall there to pick that one up. Good plays from both teams. Let's go to the graphs to see, though, how this one really played out.
What an incredible fight there. Divios with repeated jukes, gave himself enough time to for Snoopy to rotate. Lassus with an incredibly sound Noxious Fumes over the wall. That 8 damage that it did actually earned him that kill there. Beautiful play from both sides. You got to respect every rotation that happened there. Whether it was the turnaround at the blue buff by Divios stealing it and chasing Omega, to Gars jumping in for the ultimate, to Polar Bear Mike coming in directly after with the major pulls. Like, that was just great.
And the Lassus Agni bomb that just stunned 4 to save Polar Bear's Mike and switch the fight up one more time as well. What a great game we're in for here, because less than 10 minutes in, we've already had 7 kills.
That's got to be the play of the weekend.
It's one of the greatest opportunities to cast of the weekend, that's for sure.
That was truly a blessing to be able to cast. That was, if you're a fan of the game, I got to imagine you're really excited.
Divios though, 5.8k damage, top of the charts. Then we just look at 5,000 damage. Lassus behind him at 2k, but that's a lot of damage already from Divios considering.
And he's going into.
We felt he was being bullied.
He's going into the Runeforge Hammer, which means it's going to be harder and harder for Omega to deal with this lane. On top of the fact that it's going to reduce the damage from Dare to Care as well.
Well, Dare to Care in the jungle as well. He looks like he's going for a mystical mail here as his next item. It's not something we see too often from the jungle though.
I mean,
is it mystical mail? Would you expect?
I would imagine so, right? You don't have a lot of attack speed coming out on this comp. Only really Rama would be affected by a mid-guardian mail, at least outright. Some Wukong won't need to chase you as much. Oh, look at Gars here.
Gars in the jungle got aggressive, but he's the one in trouble now. Circle of Protection will buy him a moment's peace as Gars gets out. The fight rages on as Lassus does pick him up in the end. With that, was that dot damage from the bomb?
Nope.
What was that?
Archers. He didn't ambush fast enough. He didn't stealth.
No escape in mid lane from Polar Bear Mike as Eagles rallies used on Divios in the jungle. The chain lands on Tionic. He can't get away for the time being. Charges preemptive strike, but he can't use it there. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Divios is fighting against 2.
Divios is trying to get away at this point. You can see Omega still trying to push forward. Bludgeon damage was huge there. Dare to Care forced to escape. Only Gars getting picked off there. And again, too late on the ambush. Another wave of Archer shots come through.
Snoopy has to Beads to avoid being hit by that stun. Thankfully, Beads releases the cripple and turns his attention to Zapman, who takes a lot of poke there.
Snoopy has his ultimate available, needed a little bit more damage before Astral Barrage could have confirmed the kill. And, you know, there are very few people in the world that are going to hit all 3 shots as soundly as Snoopy will, which is why Zapman, despite the fact that he had his team at his back, decided to bail away from that one. The risk versus reward was not in his favor.
Precisely, and we saw Snoopy snipes earlier on. He hit 1 clean kill and then got 2 strikes in a row on 2 targets at the same time.
Jeez.
Painful to deal with, and Snoopy set himself up to continue where he left off from land with these Rama plays at the moment. But 4-4, gold is relatively even. There's a small lead for Eager in that. Experience-wise, can we have a look at the graphs and just see where the experience is?
Eager actually has this. Zapman was down a level, just hit level 13, catching up to Snoopy. Everywhere else, it seems, belongs pretty much to Eager. Last is better rotations than Boosh right now, level 13. You see Dare to Care, again, better rotations than Gar's level, 12 to the 11. Although Omega is actually slightly behind.
Is this just better sharing coming out from Eager, or are they getting more of the mid-camps, do you think? Is that what the big difference is, really, in the experience?
I think it is just better sharing, like outright. They're
All
splitting
about Mike.
more waves.
Blinking in mid, going to get the no escape on 2. Instantly, though, Boosh does get pulled in. That's a lot of burst. Luckily, the heal is there, but the heal is not going to be enough as Mike finds himself another kill.
That was a lot of damage reduction. Circular protection plus the Athena ult being channeled. You know, obviously you have to apply some type of return, but 25% plus 15 plus the heal, and they got through all of it. That was basically 2 life bars they got through Isis in that short amount of time.
Divos looking at the blue buff now, but Omega is there with support of his good buddy Dare to Care. Divos needs to be careful with this one. He's going to go for a cheeky attempt. He's not going to find it.
Close, though.
He did get knocked up as well. They didn't decide to continue aggression.
Dare's still going?
Gonna keep going. He's got minions. He's back with the archers too. Omega with the disarm as well. Divas could be in trouble, but he is a monkey with a clap.
He doesn't have mystical mail here, which means he's not doing any damage from the sky. He goes back in, so greedy.
So aggressive. Not only greedy, he manages to get away with it and continue to farm up. Zapman, though, he's looking at the goal view for the moment. Did just put it down a sentry. We've seen that more out of Hunters this season as well, DM. Just these sentries being picked up, they're the ones controlling the goal fury.
And you know it's important because Zapman was the one that's originally said that an ADC should never, ever buy wards. He has more important things to do.
Now, is this just a threat of Ionic with this Hog? Because he's Athena as well, so he can turn up late to the fight, go back to base, buy Hog 3, jump in the fight, get it.
Yes, I'm actually still wondering about this Hog. I mean, if they were going to use this, they needed really to commit to it. Well, and so far, we haven't seen much out of it.
Committing to it is what Eager's doing right now. They get the Gold Furies. The boys of Team SoloMid had no clue that was going on. And like we said, the Hog was available, but it's only a Hog 1 right now. It's not being used as effectively as we expected.
So, you know, and Hinduman's been trying to make the argument for a while about how Hog can earn you the early Gold Fury. But this has been my counter argument is, what if you get Hog and you don't have a chance to finish it? Or what if you get it and you don't get that early Gold Fury?
My initial plan with it is to honestly not buy it until you need it, and you're going to go for the Gold Fury and turn up with Hog 3 straight away.
Oh, and just
burst it down. And there's nothing they can do against that because they don't have it themselves. Even though they've lost that first Gold Fury, remember, it is at a reduced value as well right now. So if they get a Hog 3 and do manage to get the next one, it makes it worthwhile still.
Hey, 13 minutes is definitely not too far down there.
Well, purple buff being contested again by Eager. Zapman did a good job of turning that round the wall, but he was against Snoopy. And the Gauze goes in!
Gar's trying to get some damage. He ults Zapman pretty early, and he's going to be forced out here. The damage to Dare to Care, who could reinitiate pretty cleanly, but it's all about the damage coming out from Isis.
Messy fight in this polar bear. Mike will get picked because Divas there, but great petrify from Lassus. Sorry, from Zapman. And Lassus' bombs will turn that around. Omega is on the way over, and you can see TSM trying to disengage this, really.
Ionic has sprint now, so he's into sprint, Hand of the Gods, neither of which are getting a lot of mileage. Divios coming back in, as you can see.
Boosh is going to get picked back to the chains as well. Get circle protection down, but he's going to fall. Omega with a great rotation at the end of that fight.
I really thought that Divios was going to reinitiate. I mean, he's still pretty healthy. Garz, though, using his ultimate so soon in that fight, Zapman barely took any damage whatsoever, was able to reinitiate, and a lot of that fight came down to the fact that Zapman hid his ultimate charge up in the wall and then scooted out into the jungle at the last second, so they didn't have the time to turn around. It was a really strong play coming out from Zap, and they turned it specifically because of the way he played it.
A strong play from Eager overall, because last season, last split, they didn't beat TSM at all. They went down 2-0, and right now, they've got themselves in a spot where they have the advantage. They just going to keep doing what they're doing, and it's going well.
You know, but this is what I said about TSM before. You know, when they fought against Denial, you know, I made a post talking about how I think that their defense has gotten weaker. I think that their offense is still the incredible powerhouse that it's always been. But as time has gone on, it seems like they've had a trouble adapting to teams once they're starting to fall behind. So this is not only a great spot for Eager, but I think it might be a great learning experience for Team SoloMid, who at this point could be using this even as a learning experience.
Well, the Mega's going to stop his blue buff, and Devios once again in the area causing issues. But the thing is, at the moment, Awilix can get over there quite quickly, and Dagaz is actually here as well.
I like the fact that he sent the bludgeon in there, but Devios, oh no, sorry, Omega did get that.
And now the rotation comes out from Eager, and the chains are applied to Devios, who's in a bit of trouble here as
ult.
well. He's not panicking too much, though. He should have his Ox form soon if he needs to. He doesn't have ult, though.
Great taunt to stop the flames right there. Dare going for it. Feather Step's going to do huge.
There's the Ox form to get out, though, as well, and Dagaz initiates onto it to cause an issue. No escape on Boosh again, and Lasses, his flames will burn him down.
You know, Boosh has been getting caught a lot. I'm sorry, were there beads there? Can we check the items?
Boosh does have beads, but they were on cooldown.
Still on cooldown. He's got to get those things maxed out.
They lost him in the original fight over the purple buff,
right,
and then he got picked after that, and then again reinitiated by Polar Bear Mike with that no escape.
Zap's going to find a tier 1 here, and a smart rotation. Teleport from Omega to the left side to stop Snoopy from answering it back. 2 tier 1s are likely to be taken. No, the right side, it looks like. Ionic might be able to hold this. We'll see. Let's check out the right side here as Devios rotates in.
Lasses is here as well, so he's going to have to back away. He should realize there's a threat, and immediately Path of Flames away from the taunt. But good work from Eager on the comms so far. Like you said, you know, that rotation by Omega to solo, that's a sign of good communication by the team.
Devios taking some damage here, and while it might not matter too much, he's going to be stuck in this lane for a while. So that little bit might give Omega the edge he needs when he rotates back over to hold this lane down.
Lasses has returned to mid lane now, knowing that Omega will be back in time to defend that next wave coming in. As the boys of TSM, they exit in their own jungle back to lanes themselves. We're going to see Dagaz go back to base quickly here. What's he going to be looking to pick? He's got full beads online now as well, and a little bit of crit.
I'm looking at Dare to Care here on the other side of the jungle, by the way. 006, a part of almost every kill.
How do you feel about the Assi on the Awilix?
A little strange. We've seen the Awilix attack speed stuff come out a few times.
Bit of aggression once again coming out from, onto Snoopy. Dare to Care actually is in there with that blink. Snoopy is trying to hold as long as he can in the air. Will get out of trouble. Petrified did not connect from Zapman, and Devios' teleport is now here, and now Zap's in a bit of trouble.
That was a very necessary ult by Polar Bear Mike. Gonna pull one. Devios comes in though. Was that teleport to Goth? Like, how did he get there?
Well, Zapman got himself out of trouble, but Dedeker's still in there as well. He actually sacrificed himself, Zapman, to try and save his team,
Beautiful.
But still, Dare will fall, and the Spirit Ball will connect as well.
They're going in again. Polar Bear Mike going to take a lot of damage. Over the wall, Lass is getting some damage, but it's only onto the Warrior. He looks undeterred. Oh, wow, Polar Bear Mike's going to get out.
He'll live. Meanwhile, on the right side, Omega did get a tier 1 tower in trade, so what happened there? It was a 2 for O exchange in favor of TSM. However, Eager gets the tier 1 tower.
I see the ward now that Devios teleported to. He just appeared in the middle of that fight out of nowhere. I really thought he bought teleport to gods.
It had to be, I don't know his teleport, I just didn't know what kind either. At the moment, though, Omega just defending this right-hand side here. He knows that blue buff's available at the moment, but Snoopy is hanging around here, so he's just going to think for the better option. Snoopy going to drop it down already. Soak up some experience.
Snoopy and Zap right now, very close. There's a 400 gold lead for Snoopy, but at this, for Zapman. But at this stage, that's not worth a ton anymore. But you can see that net worth chart is almost all in favor of blue. You see Snoopy trying to keep up there, slightly ahead of Dare to Care. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, Eager still has control of this game.
And I love what Zapman did during that fight. He knew he was dead. He got fully focused by the team, so he ran towards the enemy tower, tried to create as much distance as possible for his team to rotate in and save the other members.
7-6 right now. 3,000 gold in favor of Eager. Gold Fury available. Team SoloMid needs it.
Did Lasses just go back and finish Rada Tahuti already? That's fast.
For the second game in a row, we see a third item Rada Tahuti.
That's a fast Rada Tahuti. Lasses having a great game as well, honestly. His rotations have been on point. Saved so many teammates.
Look at that build. Boots, spear, rod, just swinging right now.
That's like real core for Agni, but you don't often get the Rada Tahuti that early. It's just so difficult to save up that much gold, but Lasses has made it happen so far. 4-1 and 2 in a prime position at level 18, 3 levels above Boosh.
PBM doing some decent damage there. Zapman.
The funny thing about this game as well is that Team SoloMid focused on taking away Guardians from Polar Bear Mike, and he pulls out Ares, and he's having a great game on it.
Polar Bear Mike trying for something. Gets only one chain, looking for the big ult. He's going to find a few. Stunned out, forced the beads. No reinitiate, though. Snoopy takes to the sky, looking for big damage. sending it to the back line, only finding one.
Only finding one, but in the jungle, the fight is still raging on as the Boosh has to back away from that damage as well. Dertiker does find the Gauze, who had to beat early. Snoopy does good damage to Lasses, but now with Polar Bear Mike and Zatman there, he has to roll away. Dertiker might swing around the back here and find him.
Eager looking real strong right now as they're controlling more and more space. Divios in a lot of trouble. He's going to be forced to ult. Does he get up? Yes, just barely.
Gets up in time, but the fight does go in favor of Eager as Dagaz falls, and still Divios trading out with Zatman here. He might get pressure on the tower. The pull is good, and that is going to be a dead monkey.
I really like the way that he used that Ox to try to get himself out of there. It doesn't work. Snoopy, though, finding Lasses could be turned on. Omega with the disarm. Beautiful. The 3 taunt into the tower.
Polar Bear Mike is the one that's going to get the aggro at the end now, so gets away. Boosh gets a good range Spirit Ball, but not a lot of damage onto Omega. Snoopy, for me, was the best play in that because he had the presence of mind to just pick Lasses just at the end.
They still get the tower, though. They have a good trade in their favor, finding 2 kills on the side of Eager. Only 1 there for Team SoloMid, finding Lasses at the end. Are they going to look for Gold Fury on the side of TSM? You see Zap knows that they could go for it, so he's going to rotate in.
He's going to be the one patiently waiting around to make sure they don't do it. Trade out with Ionic, a little bit poke there, but he doesn't know Boosh is there. Has to be. It's an Omega. Did just teleport back in as well to this little engagement. So far, 20 minutes in. What a game we've had.
Those beads might have been a little early. Zatman looked a little bit panicked, worried about that spear ball, but Ice is only level 15 right now. Doesn't have a ton of damage. Shouldn't have been able to kill him through the lacerate, so I don't know if he needed to do that there, but what Team SoloMid now knows is that was a 3-minute beads usage. Check out Zatman. Recognizes the fact that he could be in trouble because of that. Goes right into full heavenly agility.
But I think what Eager can do here is they don't have to go for the goal if they don't want to right now. They could just hold off
which is
and
why,
just be patient.
Which is why TSM should force it.
Let's see what they're going to do, because at the moment it looks like it's Eager the ones looking at potentially forcing it once more. They've got control and they've started it up.
Ionics here, PBM trying to block out 2. Snoopy in there as well. Are we going to be looking for the Astral Barrage for the kill?
Well, Ionic does see this going on. Devios trying not to use teleport and get over his. Polar Bear Mike took a lot of poke from Snoopy, then Omega got to zone him back out. Bludgeon does not connect in the backside, but the blink from Dertiker is good, and Snoopy takes to the sky, but reinforcements are here from TSM.
He's waiting for CC, doesn't find it, he just sends some damage down, rolls away immediately. Omega stuck in the circle of protection, but CC's Boosh. Ionic in trouble.
Ionic does get pulled back in as well, but it's the tankiest target. Great, no escape from Polar Bear Mike. There's a lot of beats down, and Snoopy's going to get pulled into danger. Good almost from Ionic to disengage and do protections as Dagaz goes in, and he will get that poison off, but onto Polar Bear Mike, who spreads it to Omega, but Omega's still very tanky.
They're trying back. Divios going in deep here, looking for the kill on Omega. He's low, but he's getting baited. Nice 72 transformation for the kill, but Lasses will find it on the turnaround. Zatman credited for the kill.
3 for 2. Lasses nearing a full HP. Zatman is full HP, and Dertiker, well, he can just stand and bang from the backside and continue to bring down the Gold Fury. Eager get a big win.
Yeah, there's no contest here. That's going to be another huge gold spike. Zayden, bring us to the graphs.
5,500 experience, 3,500 gold. To be fair, sorry, 5,000 gold. There we go. I was like, that didn't seem that big actually.
That
well, there we
been
go.
Higher.
Much better for Eager. Now they found 2 Gold Furies, and with these tier 1 towers down, they're the ones in control of the game.
So for me, a lot of the trouble has been Boosh isn't getting the big damage off. He's getting picked very early. And now to the point where Boosh is no longer a major threat, they can focus 100% on taking down Snoop. And that's what it's been, right? I mean, that was his first death. They initiated on him 4 times in that fight.
Normally, though, TSM, they're the ones that normally are the aggressive side. Ionic hasn't had the opportunity to get the taunts off this game. Aggressive taunts, most of them have been defensive to save people who've been getting picked or opportunities capitalized on by Eager.
Gar's going to be picking up the speed buff. They'll rotate over, still trying to split as many camps as possible. Ionic level 15 right now, doing well in farm, considering Polar Bear Mike only level 14. But that is, there's also the whole Watchers and Travelers boots in terms of gold, where he's still 500 gold behind Polar Bear Mike, thanks to the massive objective gains from Eager.
Objective gains indeed. Omega back in the solo lane, going to drop that ward and find Dagaz is there immediately. Shield bashes away to create a little bit of distance if required. Meanwhile, though, Eager is pressuring mid with Dertiker in the jungle. They may look for something here.
Snoopy trying to hold off against 3 here. Boosh, Ionic here as well.
Love Polar Bear Mike's positioning here in the jungle. He's just going to stop the rotation coming in from the jungle and the solo laner for the time being.
But look at Divios. Doesn't have a care in the world, just runs into 3.
He's got Mystical Mail now as well, so he's nice and tanky for the front line. Little bit behind in terms of build, though, over Omega, as you can see, with itemization.
Damage coming out. Omega taking a little bit. Gar is actually taking a higher amount. No bludgeon. Oh, good disarm, though.
Does find the disarm, and now Devios a little bit caught out, but
beautiful.
Nice chain from Polar Bear Mike to stop that. Gonna force the Cloud early in that engagement. That's not gonna be available. Tough from Ionic, finally he's an aggressive one.
They're trying. They didn't really have any follow-up there, though. We saw Iana get some damage, but nothing else. Divios couldn't jump back in. Boosh didn't have anything up to go for it. Garz is a single-target assassin, and Snoopy was too far behind. If they had an Agni there, that could have been game.
So that engagement there, what happened? Well, we just saw one ultimate used by Divios. Everybody else still has it. And Eager feel themselves. There's a blink from Polar Bear Mike. There's some beats burn.
He's going to get some decent damage. Divios in some trouble here.
Divios did get healed up from Circle of Protection. That was the big key. Now Ionic with a taunt onto Polar Bear Mike. He's going to fall down. DeGoz is going to find Zaman and pull him into a dangerous zone. The poison's going to force him away. Snoopy's looking for the snipes.
Doesn't even need it, I think.
Oh, he's gonna need it. He's still alive. He does fall down as Lasses takes down DeGoz in trade now. Great Spirit Ball from Boosh, but it only really hits Omega, who's very tanky, but he's getting low.
Yeah, Omega's out of position there. They had a perfect body block to stop the shield bash to ensure that he wasn't going to get out of there. Not sure why we didn't see the immediate Eagles rally there. Perhaps it was a CC chain, but Omega gets picked off. With only Garz down, it's possible we could see a reinitiation here.
Well, they're going to actually go for Lasses. They don't manage to find the taunt or the cripple. Now they might be able to pressure tier 1 tower here. This is 3 archers.
Rush it down.
And I think Eager won't give this one up.
I like the fact that Divios is tanking this instead of the creeps. It's going to keep the creeps alive for the next push. Lassus needs to do something here.
There's still 2 members dead at the moment. Omega and Zatman both down. Polar Bear Mike is back online though, on his way back to this engagement. Full minion wave is coming in as Ionic is tanking this one up. Lassus and Dare to Care waiting for Polar Bear to turn up, but this tower will fall.
Lassus underestimating the distance at which this Spirit Ball can travel. Gets caught for some decent damage, not enough to really threaten him in any way, but it stops them from having a reinitiation promised. So that's going to get them to tier 2. They shrink the lead by a lot, only 2,300 gold now in favor for Eager. Let's take a look at the graphs to see what the experience is looking like.
It's dropped down to 3,000 when it was so far up as 6 earlier on. So
8.
Was it 8 earlier on?
8.
Oh, I thought it was 6. So big climb back down from TSM. They've stopped the hemorrhage that was happening to them, and they've evened this game up once more. 27 minutes in, and I still couldn't tell you who's going to win this one.
Yeah, the wound has been cauterized, but it's not quite healed yet. Team SoloMid still has a small deficit, although it's not nearly as big. Their goal there is to try to get themselves back on track. It was a huge play by them. The reinitiation from Ionic was beautiful, but now it's going to be up to them to keep it here.
Zatman got bursted pretty heavily there, going aggressive with the lacerate. He doesn't have it to get her out, but support from his teammates.
Snoopy's
but Snoopy, will he find the snipes? He finds one, not the second, the third.
He sees him.
Not going to connect.
Wow, Snoopy off his game today.
Well, to be fair, that was real blind. That was really blind.
No, you can see him through the...
The barest amount of health. Okay, welcome back once again to the game. Don't worry, you didn't miss any action. It's all still here for you. The tier 1 tower falls for TSM after Eager got the Gold Fury. They did lose the man in Dare to Care for that, but now TSM are trying to abuse the situation with game towers.
Look at this, Eager going for FG. They should have it here. They might trade out a Phoenix. This could wind up being this is a decent trade on both ends. Eager's definitely getting the weaker end of this with Fire Giant versus Phoenix. It's going to be up to what they can get out of it.
They're going to have to fight Eager here if they want to. They've got Fire Giant to fight with, but the boys of TSM, they get it and get out of dodge. They know they lost the Fire Giant for that. I don't know which side I prefer for that, honestly. It's kind of even.
I would like to. I think I'm in favor of Team SoloMids getting the Phoenix. Really, Fire Giant is a catalyst to get objectives, right? They might lose a tier 2 here on the side of TSM, but if they can hold them off the Phoenix, it's a big win for TSM.
But as Eager now, do you push down this tier 2 tower on the left and try and get Phoenix in response here, the same Phoenix against Fire Minions, or do you just look to take those tier 2 towers?
It's always best to try to offset the Fire Minion cost. They can't deal with the split push potential of the Fire Minions. They'll be split in terms of damage and control on the map, but they've got to get around the map here. You see Omega's on the right side. Ionic's dealing with that.
Well, Omega just went there, I think, because Ionic was the one pushing in. He does have teleport as well, Omega, so he doesn't have to come over to that left-hand lane for the time being. The boys of Eager are around this left-hand side, though. Fire Minions have started spawning in that lane, and it looks like they're going to wait for Zaman to do purple and maybe look to attack this tier 2, but TSM are aware of it.
But the hourglass is ticking here on the Fire Giant. They have 2 minutes, 45 seconds to get across the map as a team, traverse as quickly as possible and start getting these structures. Let's take a look at the graphs to see what they need to do. Now, Eager has a small lead here in both, but it's not going to equate to anything at 31 minutes into the game.
A very, very even game. Omega and Divios have both returned to solo lane. They've both got teleport available is one of the reasons, and two, well, if you give an opportunity, they can split push to victory. Zatman got to feel himself going in, got to get toyed into a spirit ball. Zatman is dead.
Oh my god. He didn't beat at all. With Zatman falling here, TSM has complete control of this game. I think they should rush this down.
Snoopy's going to roll in and keep going aggressive, looking for somebody, going to get the auto onto Polar Bear. Nice little bit of damage done as well.
Slow.
Through the wall is the slow. Heavenly Agility was popped as well from Ionic, and now he's going to get the taunt onto 2. Spirit Ball does not connect though, and Mike might get out.
Snoopy can't miss, man. The guy is just like a robot.
Well, that chain will slow down Snoopy from hitting him, and now that bomb from Lassus will dissuade them from continuing the pressure onto Mike.
Smart of Snoopy not to ult there. He didn't have enough damage to take down PBM in that.
Is that Fire Giant wasted now though?
For all intents and purposes, they're not going to have the same level of pressure. Fire Giant is always best on the Hunter because it increases their tower damage, which allows you to siege even harder. With them taking down Zetman, with Zetman not using that beads quick enough, it's going to put him really far behind with this. I think that TSM is in a really good spot to start making their comeback.
So I see a slow downturn of this game now because they'll be waiting for Zetman to spawn. TSM will be happy with what they've got out of this. Now the Fire Giant will be pretty much fall to the wayside as that Phoenix is still going to continue to be pressured. And the one thing is you do have Devios that can teleport over there and just backdoor if you so wanted to with the help of some minions.
Gars right now cleaning up this speed buff. Fire Giant still not up for about another 2 minutes. Fire Giant buff is going to fall off in about 50 seconds here. Again, Eager didn't really get a lot out of it. In fact, big win here for TSM. They got the Phoenix. They forced to the left side. You can see the Phoenix will be respawning pretty soon. In fact, sooner than the Fire Giant will respawning. So Eager's not going to lose too much in that regard either.
We spoke a lot about Snoopy before this game as well, and you can see he's leading from the forefront this time around 6-1 and 3. Second highest on damage charts, only lower than an Agni so far. He's really been on point and led from the forefront, and that's what TSM really needed this game.
I mean, I talked about it before the game started. Snoopy's always my go-to these days. I mean, he's so consistent. 6-1-3 when his team was behind by 8,000 experience and 5,000 gold. Like, that's just a very impressive score.
Mike's most exciting thing about this DM, this is game 1.
Yeah.
We get to see these guys face off again. Whoever wins this one, we're still going to see one more.
Fire Giant's coming up just over a minute. The buff's going to be falling off right about now. Zetman just trying to clean this wave up. He has at least one more wave of fire minions to do here.
Yonik's going to take a bit of poke there, but defended well from Degars in the boost to get him out of a sticky situation for the time being.
2 more waves, by the way. There are 2 waves of fire minions on the left side that must be contested.
Well, Golf Fury is going to be started by Zetman here first of all. The ping just went down. I believe that was from Eager to say, hey, that's a fire minion wave. We've got to clear that one out. And they'll probably go back and do that momentarily, as now we're all reset to an extent.
Ionic has got to finish this hog.
He's not finished it at all. He's just had it since
I mean, sell the Watcher's Gift and finish the hog. I mean, Fire Giant fight's going to start soon. They're going to need that 1,000 damage. If you're going to fill that slot, it's got to be fixed.
Well, what's his golden hand right now for Athena? Let's have a little look at that one and see what he's got available to him. He's only 220. He needs 600 to finish.
He's got Watchers.
Would he go Fist?
Sell the Watchers. No, I mean Fist. Yeah, even Fist would be great. I mean, right now he has a useless active. It's not going to help him pretty much in any way.
It clears 1 creep.
Right. On top of the fact that Watcher's Gift at this stage is basically 100 health. It's unnecessary.
Well, keep an eye on the Hunters as well because Crit is being finished by them. Snoopy has Deathbringer online. Zetman did just go back to Vase, but doesn't have enough to finish the Deathbringer off in his build for the time being. So we're in a bit of an awkward situation with the amount of damage coming out from these Hunters. It's going to continue getting bigger. That
was big right there. Ionic bought Magi's. Again, not a big fan of the Magi's into Bellona as she can clear it for free, but his was already on cooldown. It's coming back up now. He still found the taunt onto Polar Bear Mike.
On cooldown. He's going to get pulled back into that engagement. He will die to the dot more than likely, but he gets sniped and Lassus spreads to him. Meanwhile, Omega does take down Degars, whoever extending Polar Bear Mike can do much in the backside here. TSM,
that's looking like game. Zetman has to have an absolutely perfect engagement. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. TSM should be able to burn their way down into this base, and remember, there are still fire minions on the left side.
Zetman is being forced back by Devios, who just pushed him away. Devios' clone was chasing Omega and Polar Bear Mike out. Zetman falls to Snoopy's crits in hand. Snoopy now on a rampage, 17-14.
They're going to Fire Giant.
It's available.
I did not expect them to do this. I truly expected them to try to rush down a Phoenix or even the tier 2 first. Divios going to teleport back in. Fire Giant going to be taken. Fire minions, it looks like, have died to the other minions as well. So this is going to at least allow Eager to contest the left side, but they're going to be able to typewriter left to right all the way across here. Expect this to go down. Let's check out gold in hand here as they finish this up.
Yeah, they are finishing up. We won't see Eager contest. Gold in hand, you can see 1,400 available for Omega right now. What's he working for? Probably looks like Chins, I guess, if he's not spent it for execution on that.
Yeah. A little bit strange given the fact that he doesn't have any penetration. Usually Chins isn't going to apply as much damage as you can get with the Executioner. But at this stage, I don't know that it matters all that much. I'm actually pretty surprised it wasn't defense.
Chunking through the health of Boosh as well. I mean, it does do percentage of health as well. Mystical Mails online for Devios. He's also going to get through Isis, I guess. He's got that extra health now.
Yeah, that's true.
Bit more effective for him. We'll see how it works. Malice has been finished for Dagars now to go along with that Deathbringer. Looks like Titan's Bane more than likely going to be what rounds out that build.
Snoopy, though, still looking at this. 7-1-5, a part of 12 of the 17. Ionic, a part of 14 of the 17 as well. And then we have three more 13s. The assist ratio across the board is extremely high. Eager, on the other hand, while we do see Dare to Care and Lassus being very high up there, Polar Bear Mike as well, Zatman only a part of 6 of 14. And Omega only a part of 7.
Been a rough situation for both teams so far. What a great game to commentate on. They're going to push down left with the Fire Giant now. TSM looking for this Phoenix. And I think Eager will just give this one up. Do you expect them to try and defend this weekend Phoenix?
It's hard to say.
It's a rough ask, right? I mean, weekend Phoenixes, they don't last very long to defend, especially against Fire Giant, which does
right,
a debuff.
And if they rush in and Eager uses a lot to get this and they don't get a kill and the Phoenix still goes down, Fire Giant heals them up, they can still reinitiate back into mid.
Reinitiate back into mid for the second Phoenix. Let's see what TSM do, because at the moment they're waiting for these minions to come in. 2 members have swung to mid lane here.
There goes the Magi's.
We're going to see a small defense from Polar Bear Mike. Got to watch his position a little bit. Still has Magi's available. Omega, though, they might find Snoopy. Snoopy been forced way, way back.
I don't know what happened there, but PBM maintains his Magi's blessing. It's going to be very hard to deal with Ares with all of that CC being down now.
Devios' clone is dealing rough damage to Lassus on the backside, who's still going in for it, but there's the big ult from Polar Bear Mike that will secure Dagars for them. Devios will turn back up to the fight. Eventually, I believe he's back with his teammates now, as he was looking for Lassus a little bit earlier on. 1-0 in favor of Eager.
Gar's going to be down for a long time. Ultimate still available for Medusa, for Awilix, and Lassus still have some bombs as well. Circular protection still available, but Omega.
Came around the back with a teleport here, looking for the re-engage. Silence going to stop the bludgeon damage. Dare to Care did not find the lift. It actually blinks away to avoid the Spirit Ball. Lassus leading from the front here. Will they be able to find anything? Polar Bear Mike blinks. The stun is good for Boosh. Boosh is in trouble.
Boosh has no beads here. He's gone.
He is going to need Snoopy now, though, trying to deal damage back. Does get some good poke on Dare to get Lassus, but now he's being zoned out by the team, and Zatman is pushing himself forward for the kill.
I'm sorry, is this game?
I don't know if it's game, because Tier 2 towers is still standing here, DM. This game could keep going and going and going. Omega is going to tank this one up, and now they're looking for Ionic with 3 chains in a row. Polar Bear might use it more for zoning than anything else.
Gars is back up in 5. Will they go for the Phoenix? They do need to trade out, considering they lost one on the left-hand side. Ionic and Devios by themselves for about another 5 until Gars can make it there.
Mike gonna tank up the tower again. Gotta be careful though, because Ionic's there with taunts, so
off.
holding back in. Detica low on mana, that's why.
Yeah, they're going to back off. They're not going to take the power play, despite the fact that it's still, even without Dare, would have been a 4v3. They didn't feel they were going to be able to break the base. They have to control the minions as well, considering, they're starting to burn their way down. Titan's going to take some damage.
Just to be clear, Eager fought a full Fire Giant team and took 3 of them and only lost that weakened Phoenix.
It's not bad.
Great defense. I cannot complain about that at all.
I think a lot of that came down to the fact that Polar Bear Mike just walked into 3 of them, for some reason didn't lose his Magi's, and then got to the back line and killed Gars.
Yeah, got the no escape off the kill Gars, but Gold Fury is going to go to TSM now. We check him with Golden Experience just for the sake of it. It doesn't really matter at this stage of 40 minutes in, because everyone's level 20, but Gold is pretty much even.
Yeah, that's right. Only Polar Bear Mike right now is missing from that level 20 club, but with that, it shrinks the gold even more. So Eager only up by about 1,400 gold. At this stage of the game, that's like wards.
Well, look at the builds. I mean, everyone near enough 6 slotted right now. Only the mid laners haven't completed yet. You can see Book of Tough being worked on by Lassus across the way. Boosh is still not finished Water Tahuti yet, so there's a big power burst there waiting.
I'm very confused about the Hand of the Gods. I really hope we get an interview with TSM today. It's because I really want to know the strategy. What?
Do you reckon it was a misbuy?
I forgot what year it was.
That's what potentially could have been if he's still not going to. He's not put money into it any further. Or is
it's level 3 now.
Yeah, fine.
I think he just finished it.
Finally, he didn't finish until the end because he's full build as well with that Stone of Gaia online. This is where the game gets a bit crazier now, because we don't see full build teams too often these days on both sides, especially when the game is so evenly balanced on a knife edge.
41 minutes in here, and yeah, like you're saying, it's the game is as close as you're going to get. 1,400 gold means nothing at this stage.
And this is the sort of area of a game, DM, that you don't get to practice very often, because
Yeah.
you don't get to the stage with full build where one team fight could just wipe you the game. Respawn times, you're looking at 50 plus seconds minimum now. And if you lose your whole team, you've probably lost your Titan as well.
Divios baiting out, but taking a lot of damage. He's forced to ult early.
Cloud. Yeah, Cloud is down, and the disengage from
Whoa,
Eager's
whoa,
good,
whoa,
but
whoa,
Devios
whoa,
went
whoa.
in aggressive on Lasses, who's very low. Snipes from Snoopy!
Beautiful. There's
Ooh.
no way Eager could have predicted him doing that. The casters didn't predict him doing that, and we have a bird's eye view. That jump in was incredible, and the teamwork coming out from Snoopy with those snipes are beautiful. It didn't look like TSM was going to do very well in that fight, but check it out. Devios backs to the base after the kill, teleports back in. TSM in a great spot.
They're going to base all of Eager here because there's a fire minion wave coming down the left-hand side. The Phoenix did just spawn.
More than one
They
wave.
don't feel they can stop the fire giant from TSM.
That's a wave and a half in the front, a wave coming up in the back as well. They're going to be pushing down the right side, taking the tier 2, looking to extend their lead. PBM still 19 as well.
30 seconds now left on Lassis. That tier 2 tower won't take long to drop for the side of TSM. Snoopy and Devios just combined so well then. Devios just led from the forefront. It felt like he got picked, but in the end they switched that around onto Lassis.
Beautiful, right through it. They're going to go for the Phoenix. Too many people from Eager are trying to defend this wave for too long, and they're going to go right in. Too little, too late. Second Phoenix is going to be taken, though the first has respawned.
Phoenix falls, but can Eager re-aggress? Are they going to? Are they going to try and defend mid? Well, Polar Bear Mike is there now, alongside Dertica and Zapman. The three of them waiting for the rest of the team to come in, and Polar Bear's going to get 4 men in the no escape.
Nobody gets pulled. Got a Magi's there. Omega taking some damage, able to back off. Phoenix still getting pressured here. TSM, remember, Fire Giant, great sustain.
The left Phoenix has respawned now. There's no fire minions left in the left lane for now, so they've still got 2 Phoenixes standing.
Devios.
But Devios, he's
gonna try to ult in. He's gonna force this split push. Last is forced to blink away. This is gonna put them in a great spot.
Yonic, keep an eye on him because he'll be looking for the big 2-3-man taunt if he can. When he's been aggressive is when TSM have been very, very strong on the front line now, and they're just starting to wither through these minions in the lane, waiting for the next wave to come.
Omega purchasing a red pot, trying to get some extra damage. Beautiful taunt, Spirit Ball. Omega taking a lot of damage himself. Polar Bear Mike trying to answer back with flames, but he's not getting the right targets.
Omega and Devios both very tanky though, and Omega trying to sustain off of Devios with that Scourge and just beat him back off the Phoenix, and the Phoenix still holds in mid lane. Left one is still perfectly
but
fine.
Look at this on the right side. The fire minions are starting to come in. The split push is going to start working very well.
No escape available for Polar Bear again. This time round, he does pull in Ionic. He's going to get beaten up a little bit, but he's very tanky at this stage of the game. Snoopy's snipes did not really hit home.
Omega's Eagles rally is still available, but the fire minions are in the base.
Petrify from Zapman was huge into an Eagles rally. Ego destroyed the team fight in a matter of moments. Zapman with the big play.
They're trying to keep it. Good blink from Dare. Knock up. Cripple with the flip. Gonna get him. But again, Fire Minion still doing work. No one from Eager is recognizing the fact that their base is dying.
There's only 2 people alive. What is Devios going to do here? Does he have teleport available, Devios, right now? I'm not sure. He does. He could look for a win if there's a teleport option. There we go. Is this the backdoor boys we're looking for? Eager looking for the end.
Darts has got to get out of this base immediately and try to stop this back. They're going to base race.
They're going to base race.
They're going to base race.
Check to the bottom. Devios.
Check to the bottom.
Devios is going to win this. Devios is going to win. Nobody's going to be back in time to defend. The clone is there as well. Devios with the backdoor play. Eager can only stand and watch.
Nobody recognizes it. They're going to try to chase it. 3,000 damage left to do. 2,000. It's going under 18. Eager doesn't have the damage. They haven't chosen.
He's got no minions. He's got no minions.
500.
He's so close.
300.
Titans getting lower the other side.
100.
2,000 to 0.
Oh my God.
TSM win.
Oh my God. Destruction. TSM by the skin of their teeth. Take that game, and oh boy, Eager's got to be mad about that one.
Both teams going to be mad. That was a great game all the way through, backwards and forwards, and it comes down to a base race at the end. Devios' presence of mind, though, to realize he could go for that back door.
If he had literally done that 1/2 second later, it wouldn't have been enough time. That man at that point was doing to that Titan at least 700 to 800 damage a second, and then he had 4 other people around him as well.
So close. Let's go right back to the beginning of this game, though, and bring up First Blood for you all to remember where we started off.
So we're going to start this with Boosh getting a pretty decent kill here. You see Lassus kind of getting himself out of position there, but I like the fact that he didn't go down mid lane. He didn't want to put himself too close to Dare to Care because it could have resulted in a double.
So, we're going to show a play of the game, something we don't do very often, but to be fair, with a game like that, well, we've got plenty to talk about for this one. And look right back at the end of what actually happened here. Here's Devios after the teleport, and he realized this was probably their only opportunity to win.
This is just insane. Like, plain and simple, the amount of time that he had to do this was very slim. So he ulted in super soon. So this is almost a max range jump. That way he gets that out, the decoy out as fast as possible.
He also got the extra damage from landing as well, which really helped with it. Was the call correct from Eager, though? Should they have someone defending?
They needed one person to back. Omega was actually in the jungle at one point. If Omega had backed, Eager won that game.
But in the end, it was Devios that found it. It was 2,000 HP left on the Titan of TSM.
And again, that's
just as that one fell.
A second, maybe less than that. It could have been half.
We do top performance for the Alpha Draft every single time, but this time round, I'm pretty sure this could be a mixed bunch.
So we're going to see Snoopy. We're going to see Gars. Only two people from the winning team.
Two people from the winning team. Polar Bear Mike on there as well with Detica and Lassis. What a crazy game.
That was the best game of this split so far.
By far. And the best news is we get a game 2 shortly as well. What a performance from both teams. What do you change? As either side,
Nothing.
What do you change?
Nothing.
Same pick, same bad. Let's go again.
I would say gentleman's handshake. Let's run that back.
Run the whole game back. Let's find out if these boys will do it then, because that was an impressive display from both teams.
I'm actually pretty surprised that we didn't see more out of Gars. He was getting picked a lot.
Who would you give?